I recall one incident about 5 or 6 years ago. I was sitting in a restaurant downtown with a lieutenant. We were having dinner when the call came out that a person was on the tracks behind Town and Country Village. And when we responded, we got there. The train was about 500 feet away from where we were looking for the student. It was dark. It was very damp. There were patrol cars all along the backside of Town and Country Village. And I remember on this particular one, when I looked down to the ground, my foot was actually standing, was on a part of this person's person. And I mean, I jumped in. I was very sad.
There was a lot of coverage, and it was, there were reporters outside the schools trying to talk to people. And
so first, the administration sends out an email to the entire staff to let us know that there's some sad news we need to report. We collect as a staff, usually in one of our rooms that we meet as for other staff meetings. The administration then tells us all together, so we all know what happened. They provide us with as much information as needed. They don't give us more than what's needed, just so that we're not spreading things that the kids don't need to know.
Freshman and sophomore, two guys that were in one of my history classes. They both decided to step in front of a train before school one morning. He was the first student to take his life that way, I think, in 20 years. And the next one happened with another friend of mine a year later, and then hasn't really stopped. So
they were trying to reduce the copycats, and when we were getting rid of those memorials, it's so that they didn't see that, look, you got all of this attention that you were craving for. It wasn't really discussed to us formally as a staff, but that was, I know, one thing that they didn't try to do is to minimize copycats. In terms of the administration at the schools, most recently, Pally's most recent suicide, kids bought flowers and made a memorial at our school, and the principal and staff decided to leave it up and let kids come and add to it throughout the day. But what I heard at Gunn was that it was actually taken down, and they didn't want anyone bringing flowers or cards or anything like that.
Okay, so it is not appropriate to put into the newspaper suicide information. Now let me tell you, our police department does not report on suicides. They try not to put out the name. They obviously don't put out the gory details. They don't put out the name of the engineer on the train. And we don't show pictures. We never, ever, ever show pictures. Now on a normal suicide of a person who didn't commit suicide by the tracks, we still don't talk about that. Sometimes people commit suicide in their homes, and that information never comes out.
I'm on the internet publication at school. I go to Pally. And so we've talked about this in class, especially recently with this most recent suicide. As a publication ourselves, though, at Pally, we only try to cover the news about how the administration covers it, not anything opinionated right now, especially so close to it. Like I think we might, like as a staff, we wrote a small brief about how late the guidance office would be open, or who's available going around campus. So like factual things and nothing about the family or the suicide itself.